One world, your station.
Manoj Bajpayee, my old friend, movies will come and go and you will excel at it. But for me, it's just another opportunity to share a few minutes with an old friend of mine. How are you? All safe and healthy?
All safe and healthy. Now just kind of waiting for my first vaccine since it's almost completed 3 months after my infection. So yeah.
Infection,
Yeah.
Manoj, do you know Renzel from the time he wrote Ux? And what do you remember of him from those days? We're talking about 2001. Let's talk about that.
Oh, a quiet guy standing in the background, and listening to all the conversation. That's what I remember of him. But, after those days, the writers used to be, somewhere not present in most of the meetings. But, now when I, know him so well, is not only a very, he's a very reserved, quiet guy in public, but quite a talkative person when he's comfortable with you. And, within a four wall, he's quite an interesting guy with some interesting conversation he knows how to make. I know. So yeah, this association that has happened with him, it is going to go a long way because I really found him, not only a great creative person, but also a fantastic guy.
Now, I'm just surprised that this association didn't happen earlier. I mean, he's directed Qurban, he's directed Ungli, he did a couple of seasons of 24. Did you have discussions before this or working together, or it just didn't materialize?
No, nothing came from him all these years. But yeah, it's good. I mean, it's jo jab hona tabhi hota hai. So, but who knew that Renzel will happen in my life at this age, and suddenly will become so thick.
Now, I want to remind you, because you believe in neki kar kuein mein dal, you never talk about the good that you do for other people. But you actually sent me to Rakesh Mehra, and that is when I met Renzel first. I had done the radio spots for Ghat, and you had picked up the phone to Mehra and said, there's this friend of mine, Rishi K, please meet him. And I remember meeting Mehra for the radio spots and meeting Renzel. You're right, he was very quiet. And Mehra very sweetly told me, Manoj has asked me to meet you, so I'm meeting you. He's my hero. But मैंने यार spot किसी से करा लिया. So it was a funny circumstance when I met them. But as usual, you are responsible for so much good for other people. Yeah, Manoj, amazing. So let's talk about Sakshi. She says you visited her in college. I'm very curious to know, because I'm very interested in Manoj Bajpayee's history. Was this a workshop you conducted when you were in Ramjas College, or you passed out and you were an actor?
No, see, I have passed out, and I was doing theater with Barry, and I know when Sakshi kind of revealed it to the journalist that I was the first director of her. I told her that I'm clarifying everyone that that I was not an old guy. Directors are not old guy always. It's just that I was so young. She was in first or second year.
Correct.
And I was a very serious, always angry kind of strict discipline wala admi. So I had 20-25 girls in this dramatic society, LSR Dramatic Society, and I was a hard taskmaster. These girls used to hate me. They used to hate my anger self, and so. I was telling Sakshi that I was such a foolish, that instead of flirting with the girls, I was bloody so serious that they were scared of me. They were intimidated of Manoj Bajpayee. And she played the lead in my play, and that was the time. I think I told her that you should take this as very seriously, because you are a very talented actor. And I'm so happy, Rishi, that all that she has done, I kept on telling people, she played the lead in my play. She is someone who's trained by me. So, so yeah, I can take that credit and be really proud of the fact that she attended my workshop and done a play with me.
Well, he's talked about South Delhi campuses, LSR, but I can vouch that in North Campus, lots of girls wanted to marry Manoj Bajpayee, especially the hostlers who came from Bihar and, that belt. Neena Gupta is having such a beautiful second innings as an actor.
Right.
You love seeing talent emerge. I mean, that's your magnanimity. I remember even during Family Man, you talked more about Samantha than yourself. I mean, in
Right.
Neena ji's case, you can see it emerging again, because just like parts are being written for Manoj Bajpayee, parts are being written for Neena Gupta. Please talk about it.
Right. I mean, I look at Ninaji's journey. I mean, from theater till now, as as an actor, or as a person, as a woman, as a mother, she has set an example for so many people, be it men or women. Uh, and for me and my wife, she's always been inspiration. We always spoke about her, and still she's so childlike. She does things on her own conditions, terms and conditions. She does it unabashedly, without even having this fear of being judged. I just love it. I love her Instagram post. It gives me so much of hope and positivity about my own self, when I'll be reaching there, and she's trying to tell me how to live life. So this is the beauty of Neena ji. And when you're sharing a screen space with her, it's a privilege. One should really feel honored that you are getting this chance to work with such an individual who's been inspiring lakhs of people, men or women, just by living life, or just by acting. How many people can boast of that?
Beautifully put. On a lighter note, Dial 100 also tells you how smart kids become as they get older, Manoj. You have one daughter, I have two, so we can add our own notes to this. That boy Dhruv, his character is so well written. How he plays the mother against the father. Arey, but mummy slapped me, she didn't tell you. Then he tells the mother, but Papa told me to go out and party. So it's a very well written one. I want you to comment on that.
I mean, Renzel's daughter has just kind of passed out, and she's become independent. She's gone to America all alone, and Renzel has howled his heart out in a bathroom. That's what he told me. So fathers are like that. But he's a father. He knows, he has already seen her daughter growing and becoming adolescent, and the problems that comes with each age is something that all of us are experiencing. So with every time you think that the next year is going to be easy, but it's never easy. Right now my daughter is 10 and a half, but 10 and a half has its own problem. I mean, we find it at times, we find it so difficult to monitor her activities, to monitor what she is watching, not watching, how is she studying, not studying, where is she playing, where is she going. So keeping a hawk eye on children, and especially in a city like Mumbai, it's a job, and it's a big job. It's much more difficult job than anything else that we do, Rishi. And hats off to all the mothers who are doing this, day in, day out.
Manoj, it really opened my eyes, these people who pick up these emergency helpline numbers like 100. And I know that you go, beyond the profession, and you go into the human being of characters. I mean, here is a guy who seems to be a combination of a customer services agent, a police officer, as well as a psychologist when he picks up these phone calls. Talk about that, please. I mean, newfound respect for these people.
It's a person who is picking up the phone, they are dealing with human beings, every day. I mean, day and night, just sitting on a chair, picking up the phone, listening to their talk, trying to understand their state of mind and where they're coming from and what are their intention, all of that. And then directing them to the concerned department, getting them help. It's a hell of a job. And you are dealing with the entire city, not one individual in a day. So it's hell of a job, and we should all salute them. We should be respectful towards that number. We should not just pick up and call people, because for them it's a duty. Okay, for you it's just one. If a problem is mild, please sort it out on your own, because those people are actually having the responsibility and having calls which are far more dangerous, far more alarming, and far more emergency in the nature. So we have to be very responsible before we really call on that number.
Also, I like the perspective that Renzel, all the characters have given in this film. You see, normally the guy who is in charge of the drug supply chain, is a very bhai kind of character in Hindi cinema. Right. He comes and he looks like a hoodlum. But the fact that these nefarious activities are now being conducted by regular middle class boys who they are catching, and who don't look out of place in a discotheque, and that's a very important thing. It's quite shocking, actually. I'd like you to comment on that.
But see, what happens that these boys who are growing up, they want to be independent. They want to earn their own money. They don't have enough pocket money. They want to buy everything that they see, buy sneakers, buy nice clothes, so the needs, the desperate need of these children is something exploited by these people. They are not paid well, but for those children, it's hell of a lot of money. If I tell them that I'll be paying you 5,000 rupees, you just carry this packet from Andheri to Bandra, he will think that it's an easy job. Let me go and do it, and immediately he'll get 5,000 rupees. 5,000, a middle class boy getting for doing such a minor job. He doesn't even know the repercussion of carrying that bag from Andheri to Bandra. This is exactly what they are. These criminals are using it, using their need to their advantage. This is a very dangerous world outside, and protecting your children from it is something almost impossible. It is becoming impossible, and we know it. You know it. How nervous we are when our children are even going to play outside. We are very nervous. We are stressed out. We really want to keep an eye. We really want to know who they are meeting, and what are they talking, what are they watching. So, and when the child is 16 years, 17 years, the biggest enemy in his life or her life is their parents, because the parents are, they want to protect them, and they don't want to let them go away from their own what do you call it, radius, and then the rebel comes out. Then the whole stress happens, the conflict happens in the family. It's a catch-22 situation for the parents. They want to protect them from dangerous elements, from any kind of a danger coming to them, but the children are not understanding. They are so vulnerable. That is why they are so vulnerable to these activities.
I love Dial 100 for so many different reasons. And another very important reason is the question it asks and just leaves you about trial by media. Now, I don't approve of the trial by media, even though I'm a media professional. But the fact is, it's happening. A lot of people argue saying, if the judiciary or the police or, the administration is bought over by certain elements, rich elements, then where does a person go? Does he go to the media or not? So your idea on trial by media?
Yes, I mean, the society that we live in is so gray. So you really don't know where to run to, for help. And even the promises here of help, they mean nothing. So as a helpless father or helpless parent, in this kind of a situation, you and me will not have that kind of problem. But the common person out there, a common man, middle class man or woman, for them it's like it's like never ending. Looking for some solution, looking for some help, is never ending. Every time they feel that they are very close to justice, as they come close to it, suddenly it is thrown away at a distance. So you just raise a very valid question. I don't have any answer. I really don't have any answer. The answer lies in correcting the system. And I don't know. I'm as clueless about the system as anybody in this country. Let's hope that someday somebody will really take an oath that will protect each and every child of this nation, and by doing that, we are actually protecting the entire future generation, the generation which is really going to build the nation.
I want to talk about your producer. It's Siddharth Malhotra. Sid, he's the son of the great Prem Kishan ji, and if I'm not mistaken, they run Cinevistas. I don't know if you're in your TV days you did any work with Cinevista.
No,
talk about that.
So I didn't work with them, but I've shot in their studios, and they have Prem Kishan ji has been very, very active in production from the TV days. Siddharth himself is a producer director. He's directed Hichki, okay, and he's ready with his next. He's quite a he's somebody who's smiling even in the time of crisis, smiling, and he actually gives you an idea that everything will be sorted out. So he's that kind of a guy. He never lets you know what is going in his mind and how he's really going to sort out the stress that we all are facing. But he does. In the end, he does. He just he tries to calm you down with his smile, and suddenly you are on the back foot. You really start thinking, am I unnecessarily stressed out? Am I all right? So he has his own way of dealing with problems as a producer, but he made our life very, very comfortable on this set.
Lovely. Manoj, God bless you. Stay safe and healthy. As usual, conversations with you are magic, and speak soon. Take care of yourself.
Stay safe, and love to your family.
Thank you, Manoj. Bye.
Okay.
See you.
Bye. Bye.
94.3 Radio 1. One world, your station.